The Loerie's program for creative excellence is hard at work for the 2016 incarnation, and the Chief Executive Officer of the program, Andrew Human, is with us for a quick update. First up, you've appointed something called a creative voice this year. What is that?
Creative voice. Actually, so it's Donovan Goliath. And
the well-known comedian.
Yes. And what it is it's a very nice element in a way to connect in a broader spectrum. So the thing with the Loeries is we're very well known with the usual suspects, and we also more broadly known. If you actually compare the Loeries to other industry awards, we're probably the most consumer relevant brand that consumers talk about. And actually I watch
people engage with advertising, and they know what the Loeries is.
And they say that should be given a Loerie. And even I've seen, even when politicians say something, I've seen someone say, "Ooh, he should have been given a Loerie for that speech."
Guess it depends which politician, Andrew.
But yes. It was meant sarcastically. What's good and what we want to show in our broader communication is to show how creativity adds value and how you use ideas, so that ideas are a business tool. It's not simply, oh, it's creative for creative's sake, but how are you using it and how are you being innovative? So what we're doing with our creative voice is we've started a partnership with YFM where he has a weekly program, and we're extending it beyond that, and he's talking to different people from the industry continuously, saying, what are you doing, how are you doing it, how are you making ideas work for you?
With what ultimate intention, though, as far as the program is concerned?
Well, as I say again, if you look specifically at the YFM market, what's great about that is it's youth focused. So you're showing young people, again, one of the big negatives of creativity. If you say to parents, oh, I want to do something, if you're a matriculant and you say, I want to do something creative, then more than likely you're going to get a slap about the ears.
Wailing and gnashing of teeth.
And whereas in reality, Sir Martin Sorrell is the highest paid individual in the whole of the United Kingdom, and he heads up the largest advertising agency group in the world. So we want to show that creativity isn't about being down and out and suffering for your art, but it's showing how you can successfully turn your ideas into an economic reality.
In other words, into a currency. You've been pushing this message, though, for a long time as a program. Surely after all this time, that notion of the creative economy is starting to entrench in organizations. They must surely, Andrew, be starting to see the value.
I think absolutely. If you're starting to look at brands, so brands, there's a massive shift, I would say, over the years I've been involved. So where I started off, you had this very strong position of creative versus effective, and you'll know that as well. And I'd say that argument is gone. Nobody's saying, oh, I don't want creative. And what you actually find, so from a brand point of view, brands are now saying, how do I go out and buy creativity? And they absolutely see it as valuable because, and again, with the marketing mix, you were just talking earlier about how the marketing mix has changed. It's much more challenging if you're a brand today. You can't simply just say, okay, I'm going to drop my bad ad in the newspaper and I'm going to put a bad ad on TV and a bad ad on the radio. And I know that when male executives get up in the morning, they're going to put a newspaper under their arm and they're all going to listen to the same radio station in their car, and they're going to come home in the evening and watch the same television set, and they all are the same male executives. That doesn't exist any longer.
You're channeling a little bit of 1950s nostalgia there. The masterclasses this year, that's a new concept of the Loeries. What is that?
Yes, so Creative Week. Really what Creative Week, and it's growing very well.
Back in KwaZulu-Natal.
In Durban, yes. So it's giving us an opportunity to really get everybody from the industry together for these few days. And I think that's where it's also been very successful, in that we have everyone from across the spectrum. So you have from matriculants, we have matriculants attending, we have students, and we have all the way up to CEO level. And then there are different pockets of connections throughout Creative Week. And what we're doing with the masterclasses is adding in an element where it's a learning element and an engaging element. So saying, and it's smaller, so it's groups of anywhere between 20 people to up to 150 to 200 people in a room, and covering on different subjects. So for example, our creative voice, he'll be speaking about how he has built his whole career on creativity and on his ideas, and how he's built a business around that. And he will do a workshop specifically aimed at young people, saying how you can come into the industry and how you can use your talent to build a career.
Just finally then, the theme of the Loeries this year, Creativity Unites, and you certainly are pushing entries. Entries close on the 16th of May this year, am I correct?
That's correct, yes. And Creativity Unites, I think, again, it's actually a very great, timely campaign. Again, when you look at South Africa and you look at the last few months, and it's incredible how people are very quickly to stand up and point fingers and say us and them. And rather than that, the whole campaign is about how do you take the best of what we're doing and make things better, and how do we take what we have to add and use that to unite and move forward, rather than to sit and tear one another apart and go backwards.
Always appreciate the conversation. Andrew Human is the Chief Executive Officer of the Loeries.